And it reminded me, I told Phil, hey, man, no hamburgers, dude. And Phil knows what that means. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you the origins.
And let's get detailed as well. And let me just little preface. Every time I hear this story, it gives me chills.
Yeah.
This is one of those stories that when only the greatest is on the biggest stage in the world,
we're gonna remember
Darryl's going to tell this story, and it's going to, I don't know, that's just what I think about when I hear it. So I'm just going to kind of shut up. I'm going to let you tell the story because you tell it best. So
when I was younger, I used to race BMX, and we raced a lot for many, many years. And shout out to both my mom and my dad. They bent over backwards to make sure that I was able to, especially in the early days before I had sponsors or anything, they made sure that I was able to get to all these events and actually pay for me to race and so forth. And it was a lot. I mean, we traveled out of town quite a bit to race, other states, other parts of the country. Everywhere from, we raced in Texas, Pennsylvania. I mean, you name it, we shot all around the country racing. So it was a big deal for us and our family. And I was pretty decent. But
decent? I don't know, man. I remember the trophy rooms. Like, I'm talking
all right,
garage full.
Listen,
full
bro.
Of BMX trophies.
I might have been the World Cup champion at one point, but don't Google it.
I just wanted to say that he's being modest right now. There was so many trophies. I mean, we're just boxes.
You know what? I had to get rid of a lot of those because I put them, or I had to throw a lot of them away because I put them in the attic for a while, and they got like, they basically just started to disintegrate. They weren't made out of like quality material.
Right.
But anyhow, so I did a lot of racing. I was pretty good, but that's not the point.
Right.
The point is, we used to have this local track down here, and it was called a couple different names over time, but in the beginning it was called Roadrunner BMX. And, it was a legit track. They had legit local races where you could actually earn race points and add your wins up to qualify for nationals and so forth. And we had a kind of like a core group of people that were always there, the local people that went to race. And then, of course, people would come from other parts occasionally and race. And I think we had like some state championship races there over the years. But anyway, the point is we had this core group of guys, and there was several of us that were all pretty good, a little bit older, younger. I mean, everywhere from, I think I started when I was 3 and raced all the way up into my early teenage years. And then there was guys who were racing in their 50s. You know, a couple of my friends' dads raced and everything. So there's a wide range of us anyway. And
it's like dirt track BMX racing.
Yeah, racing. Yeah. And of course, you had to race with your age group, right? Anyway, there was this one guy, I'm not going to say his name. Phil knows his name.
We'll just call him.
Nope, we're going to call him Hamburger.
Hamburger, yeah. I didn't want to say it.
That was his nickname. His Hamburger. Name, he was a little bit heavier set. And I want to say at that time, and I was young, but I'm going to assume he was probably late teens, early 20s, probably around that time, just based on what I remember of him. Heavy set guy. And he went by Hamburger. He would introduce himself as Hamburger, right? I guess because he was heavy set, I assume.
I mean, people take on their nickname over time, right?
Right, yeah. So
you accept it.
He introduced himself as Hamburger. And so anyway, Hamburger was he was a pretty good racer. He was actually moderately fast from what I remember. And I remember on several occasions, Hamburger would take off from the gate. There's 8 people on the track max. And he would be in front, like most of the track. Like he would be up close to the front of the pack, maybe even first place. And then like the last stretch of the track, when it really mattered the most, he would sit down and he would quit pedaling and he would coast and everybody would pass him up. And he would end up getting last or
third,
or not first, basically.
Yeah.
He would end up losing because if you don't get first, you lost. And that's how I feel.
Yep.
And that's how I took it all the time, all the way up until now. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
Not last. If you ain't first, you lost, though.
Yeah, I agree.
But so anyway, it kind of became known, at least to me, my family and my like immediately close racing friends,
the real winners. Yeah, maybe.
Well, no. The just the people who like were my age group, my family. It kind of became, to pull a hamburger kind of became a verb, like, and it meant to quit, right? To not finish all the way through.
To not finish strong.
Right. If you don't finish strong, you're pulling a hamburger. And so my dad, and I don't really know. My dad's passed away now, but I don't know if it was more of an in the moment thing, or if it was a life lesson thing, or if it was both. But every time, especially, every time we got to the racetrack, whether it was local or a national race or anything like that, and we were getting ready to race, he would come up to me and he would kneel down, because I was a little boy at the time, and he'd look at me and he'd say, "All right, son, listen to me." And he would say, "I don't care if you win by 10 miles or you lose by 10 miles. I don't care if you get first, fourth, or eighth," because there's only 8 people maximum on the track. So eighth is dead last.
Yep.
He goes, "I don't care if you wreck. I don't care if you're in first the whole time, last the whole time. If you pull a hamburger, if you quit pedaling, I will sell your bike. I will sell all of your equipment. I will sell everything that is related to you racing, and you will never race again. I won't even," and this might have been a little harsh. He was like, "I'll even pretend that you never raced if you do that. I would be so embarrassed if you pulled a hamburger that's what I would do." He was like, so.
When people ask about Darryl, when he used to race, be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, he would be like,
"He never raced."
"Hey, Darryl, did you used to race?" My dad would be like, "No, doesn't sound familiar to me." So he would tell me that that's what he was going to do. And I was always, and when I was a little boy, of course, I didn't think about it in depth. I was just scared. I liked to race so much. I was like, damn, if I quit pedaling, no matter what, and he made it sound like at the moment I got off the track, he was going to get me off the bike and put a for sale sign on it. And that was going to be it. We were going to go home and never race again. I was so scared of that it motivated me every time, no matter what, to pedal all the way through as hard as I can until I pass the finish line, right? Doesn't matter if I'm in first, fourth, or eighth. It don't matter if I'm in my own fucking zip code. It don't matter if I wrecked and everybody already finished the race and I'm just getting back on my bike. I pedal as hard as I can.
All the way to the finish line.
No matter what.